Hey, I'm Jairus from behind the scenes at Barber Skate Shop, and today I have a good friend of mine, my guest, Mike Goodwine. He's a charter captain, inshore fishing, stuff like that. So, my boy Mike, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you, man. You know, as a kid, I always looked up to you.
Yep.
I always thought you was super cool, you know, straight up. Everything that y'all had, I wanted to get, you know, because our dads were pretty much best friends and grew up together. So I always, even though I was younger than you, but I always looked up to you as like, dang, that cat was cool.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. And I didn't even know all that, you know. So
man, how you ain't know that when everything y'all had, I would end up doing the same thing? I come around to the house. You had the three-wheeler, I come around to y'all. Matter of fact, I remember one night y'all came to the house, man. It was late at night with the three-wheelers, man. And I don't know if I had mine, but y'all came and was showing us how to ride or something. You, your dad, and Russell.
Yeah.
Came by one night, you know. Then after that, I was riding. I was all pumped, like you know, dang, I can ride now, you know.
Yep, I remember that, man. And you know, I don't know if you know, we were blessed, brother, to have our dads in our lives back then. If you think about, a lot of kids in the neighborhood didn't have that.
Right.
So they looked up to all of us. Like I ain't gonna lie, I remember when you first started cutting, I was like, man, that's tight, you know. And throughout our neighborhood, that's what we done. You know, we would see things and see people that would influence us without them even knowing, you know, especially when it was something outside the rims of what we seen every day in the hood. So, yeah, I was on your team back then, brother. Yeah. You know, I just never came by, like, you know, I got nappy hair and stuff, so, you know, I had one or two people that I let cut my hair because I was embarrassed of my nappy hair, bro. You know, a lot of them barber shops, you come up in there, you get cracked on quick.
Oh yeah, they be cracking on the
low. Yep. So here we are, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming, man, and like I say, I always looked up to you, man, and even with as kids, just doing having some of the same interests, like with the skateboarding, the extreme, mostly extreme sports, because I do like extreme sports. Like with the three-wheeler and stuff like that, man, just to go up to ride to King Village, man, and hit the ditch before all they start building all them houses, man. Y'all was flying out the ditch like it was motocross in the hood.
Yep.
You know, and I tell people about, man, you having a half pipe. I say, man, we had a half pipe in the hood, straight up.
Yeah.
The quarters, the little ramps, and all of that stuff. And you was man at it, and you could see the shop, we the Barber Skate Shop, you know what I'm saying? And it was stuff that the shop is actually me, you know? So I got a chance to, when I became an entrepreneur and opened up my first shop, this was a niche that I found that I actually liked, and it made the shop different than any other barber shop. And all this go back to stuff from what I was seeing as a kid and liking, and then was able to make a career out of it. Yeah. You know, cutting hair. I mean, I didn't grow up looking at people cut hair, even though my brother used to cut his own hair. Tyrone would cut my hair sometime. Let's see, Jay and my other cousin Chris, they would cut my hair sometime. So I guess it was like, maybe like in my blood or whatnot, but I'm the only one that actually took it serious. Yeah. You know, and this podcast is actually about, I'm interviewing people like yourself, and it was almost like what you just said about seeing things in the community, and you kind of shape yourself around it. And because it's hard to be something that you can't see. Yeah. And it's hard to learn something that you can't see, because we might not be able to visualize it in our head, but if we see it, it's like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Yeah.
So, and speaking on that, like where we grew up at, the stuff we saw, we had the same opportunity to see that and want to do it from all the stuff that's illegal, and our dads was in the picture and kept us, you know, kept the foundation there and solid till we knew what had happened. Yeah. We knew what had happened if we made the wrong choice. So with my dad, he kind of, he spoiled me. I'm gonna go ahead and say he spoiled me, but anything I wanted to do, he did his best to try to provide it, to put me in it, let me have it, to keep me from ending up with a felony or whatever, or going to prison, because that's what I was around every day. And like you speaking of the half pipe, the half pipe skateboard ramp was right here, and 100 yards. It was selling dope. You know what I'm saying? And everything else, and shootings, and he put that there, if I could have all my attention right there, and I would want to be a pro skater or whatever, than being a D-boy or whatever. So that really, it saved me. I ain't gonna lie, it saved me. And
I think it saved a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean, we had, man, it was crazy on how many cats used to come during the daytime and skate that ramp, and then at nighttime be running the streets. And if couple of them held on to it, and it kept them from going the wrong way, and some of them, you know, it's gonna get you. If you're around it every day, the streets should get you some way or another. And but like we had that foundation already laid. My dad did, and your dad did, and you know, like I said, here we are today, sitting here talking about it. So, yeah.
And another thing, man, we go fishing. I used to be like, man, when my Mike don't ever come fishing with us. You know what I'm saying? When I would be on the boat with them driving and going fishing, and our parents did the same. Our dads worked at the mines because that's what they saw, and everybody dads pretty much in the neighborhood worked at the mines because that was the job, that was the place to go at, so you could have a decent living, decent life to be able to provide for your family. You know, and then going from there, just them going fishing and stuff like that. And now, look at yourself. You a fisherman. You know. And back then, I had to go fishing because my brother he would always be gone because he was older than both of us. You know, so I would have to go fishing with them on Saturdays, so I wouldn't be home. So I would go fishing and stuff, but I got tired of going, man, because I'd be out there hungry, man. They putting everything in the cooler, the sandwiches in the cooler, the snacks in the cooler with the fish.
With the fish on top
of it. All over, and I'm over here like, oh, man, I got to eat that.
Yeah. My daddy, I used to be dying of thirst on the boat, man. Trying not to drink nothing, and I said, Daddy, you got something to drink? And I knew he was going to reach in there and orange Gatorade. Take that Gatorade and he'll knock that slime off of it and be like, here. I'm like, oh, man, I just can't do it, bro. Can't do it. But
I'll give you a smashed hamburger from Burger King that been in the bag all day.
And then back to what you're saying about what we saw about, you know, a lot of people in our neighborhood worked at the mines or somewhere like that. And that's what I ended up doing. You know, I had 15 years at the mines, and while I was at working, ended up getting my captain's license. And as soon as I got my captain's license, my plan was to do both. I said, I'm gonna keep working at the mines and just run charters on the weekends or whatever, on my days off. And man, I remember I went on vacation, and it was like my real first time going on vacation. Like when y'all was growing up, I know about our house, it was 8 of us. We ain't do no vacations.
Nah, it wasn't no vacation.
Nah, it wasn't no vacations at all. And our vacation might be going to Ben T. Davis on a Sunday or
Lithia Springs
Reservoir. But we didn't take vacations, and I went on a vacation with this girl I was dating now, and I'm sitting back on the beach, man, chilling and looking around, and every time, like before, when I worked at the mines, anytime I was at my happiest moment, I would think, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow, and it just ruined it. I'm sitting on the beach, and I started getting that feeling again, started thinking about, I gotta go back to the mines or whatever. And my phone, I was sitting on the beach, and my phone, I booked four trips while I was sitting there, and I started doing the math. I'm like, man, I just made X amount of dollars just sitting here chilling. And I just made more money than I bring home a week. So I looked over at my girlfriend. I'm like, you know, I'm finna quit. I'm finna do this. And before, anytime I said that when I was married or whatever, they'd be like, oh, hell no. I'm gonna take your ass to work or whatever.
Yeah.
You ain't got time for quitting.
Good job.
And bruh, she looked at me and said, go ahead, I got your back. And I did it. I called right there on the beach, put my 2-week notice in. And after I got off the phone, I was kind of shocked, like, man, what did I just do? But at the same time, I felt relieved. Mm-hmm. And I was happy again. I was like, man, there's a different type of happiness. And I've had that happiness for 9 years now, knowing that when I'm feeling the best, I ain't thinking, oh, God, I got to go back to work tomorrow. Because I'm fishing. That's my job. So what inspired you to start fishing? Because it's you. What started you for fishing, to get that love for fishing? Well, back to our dads. Like my dad used to take me all the time, and some days you didn't take me when we was younger. Now I knew why, because you was there. You took the spot. You know what I'm saying? But so me and my dad, we bonded fishing, and man, I fished with him every weekend, every day I could. And he'll tell you if you talk to him. He said he'll never forget the day that he asked me if I wanted to go fishing with him. And I said to him, what time we gonna be back? And he knew right then. He lost his fishing partner to girls. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was probably around 12, 13 years old. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. And I got away from fishing for years, and then I got married and bought a boat again and messed with it, started fishing some bass tournaments, and then got a divorce and got away from it again. But I kept coming back to it.
So you was doing freshwater?
Yeah.
Straight freshwater fishing?
Yeah. I was bass fishing, doing tournaments, won a couple, donated more money than I won, but you know, it was my thing. And then, like I said, it seemed like every time in my life that I'll drift away from it, I'll go back to it. So I took up saltwater fishing when I was working at the mines and started figuring it out. It was like, I'm gonna get my captain's license. Well, actually, I wasn't even gonna get my captain's license. That's a whole nother story on how I got my captain's license. But like I said, the fishing kept bringing me back, and now I'm doing it for a living. So.
And shoot, you probably one of the. Is it any other African American captains out there?
Yeah, it's one. It's one in this area, and he just started a couple years ago. But my first seven years, I was the only one.
You was the first one.
First one that I know of.
So you probably opened up the door for it.
Yeah. Yep. And then out of Florida, for me doing seminars going around, it might be 5 of us, 8 of us in the whole state of Florida. Saltwater, yeah.
Saltwater?
Yeah. And that's one thing that I wanted to do was show other minorities that we could do this, you know. And my daddy ain't never had me out there saltwater fishing because
they don't want that.
Nah. For one, you gotta. It's too many rules. You know, my daddy, he want to keep.
He want to catch 100 fish.
Oh yeah. Man, whatever my daddy keep, man. Me and him used to argue about it.
Yeah.
Like, daddy, you can't keep that fish ain't big enough to keep, and he used to always say it'll make a turd. That's what he used to tell me. So
it'll make a turd.
It'll make a turd. I'm keeping it, bro. So, but so I had always thought that I couldn't afford. Really, I thought I couldn't afford to saltwater fish, because everybody that I knew that used to saltwater fish, you got to have a $100,000 boat, and you know all the high, you know, all this real expensive stuff, and I just started mingling around with it and found out, well, anything I do, I'm gonna find a way to do it. If Always was able to do that. I'm gonna find a way to do it. So when I say I can't.
So how did you research it?
It was just time on the water. Like I was working with guys that fish a lot of salt water, and I used to come to work talking about all the bass I caught, and they'd be like, "Man, you need to come out there saltwater fishing." And then started going with them, and then I ended up getting me a boat and started doing it for myself. And man, it was 4 or 5 years later, I was a charter captain. So yeah.
And that day that y'all was at the beach, that was the day that you said, "Okay, I think I'm gonna do this for a career."
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I did the numbers, and I got to thinking, man, we only here one time. So if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it now. And the good Lord bless me. I'm still here doing it. 9 years, still here doing it. So, but and it had its ups and downs, just like any other thing. But I stuck with it,
So, what obstacles have you faced in starting your chartering and doing fishing charters? Were there any obstacles?
Oh yeah.
And how did you overcome those obstacles?
Well, the first obstacle was I got hated on bad, bro, bad, from a lot of weekend warriors, but mainly from the charter captains that had been out there for 20, 30 years. And they was hating on me hard, bro. Like I had the FWC jump out the bushes on me, bro. Yeah. Like I'm moving Dovers. Like waiting to jump out the bushes, you might go on. I'm like, yeah. You running illegal charter? You running a charter? I'm like, nah. So what happened was I was working at the mines. I had 14 days off during the month. And anything I get into, skateboarding, racing 3-wheelers, whatever, I'm all in, bro. Mm-hmm. That's just, I got that addictive. I'm finna figure it out. I'm all in. So I was out there almost every day. I was off, and of course, they were seeing me out there and seeing different people fishing with me, all friends, and so they was like putting one and one together, but their math was wrong, and thinking I was running illegal charters. And
illegal charters meaning
I didn't have a captain's license, because you got to go to C school and get your captain's license. Okay. So, I mean, I was getting people call. I had somebody call and offer me $1,000. He's like, "I give you $1,000. You take me fishing tomorrow, just for a couple of hours." And I'm like, "I can't do it." Actually, I told the guy, I said, "I'll call you back." I hung up and called another captain friend of mine who had license. I said, "Hey, this guy want to go. He offered me $1,000. Do you want to go?" And that way we'll have, it could be his trip and our first mate. So when I called the guy back and told him, I said, "Yeah, I could do it. I got a captain that said he'll take us." And he didn't want to do it. So that was part of a setup too.
The police.
Oh yeah.
That was man. They sent that undercover.
I ain't stupid, man. So so long story short, I was getting hated on, and then another reason I got hated on bad was because this was when there wasn't no other charter captain in Tampa Bay that I know of is using social media to promote fishing or whatever else. So me out there just having fun, I was using my social media.
Today's technology.
Yeah, I was using it just to show everybody what I was catching, try to make people laugh. And I already had a background of, I don't want to call them followers, but people that was watching me from the art. I used to do the artwork, from the skateboarding, from the motocross, from like all the people I went to school with. So the audience was already there. And then all these other charter captains kept saying my name all over social media and stuff. And was like, yeah, he's got to be running illegal charters. So I just, I was getting hated on a lot. And at that point in time, oh yeah, it bothered me and pissed me off. I was like, yeah, they hating or whatever else. But looking back now, since I've been doing it 9 years, I wouldn't have did it the way they did it, but it's been situations where I had thought the same thing about other people that was out there every day that wasn't a charter captain. But the difference was I got to know that person and explain to them, hey, I tried to warn them, hey, this is what's going to happen to you. Mm-hmm. Or I just go up to them and ice them. You're a charter captain. Instead of all the gossiping and spreading lies and whatever. And then some of the ones who's behind it, I'm good friends with them right now,
They were telling on you.
Yeah, I'm good friend. Yeah, I know they did it, but to this day they don't know I know.
Man, when I was in barber school, when I first started cutting the shops, I was in barber school because the barber shop in Plant City, when I came back from Louisiana, it was Esquire. Mm-hmm. So everybody was going to Esquire, but I didn't really know them like that. Mm-hmm. That's where Pierre and my dad was getting their hair cut. So they took me up there to get a haircut and stuff like that, and I was sitting there and wait with them and stuff like that sometime, and I let them cut me up, but I was cutting myself at the house. And then my dad and them, they didn't really realize how good I was at the time until I just started finding clippers up every day. So then the guys at the shop, they used to come take me to go get clippers from the warehouse and stuff like that because they wanted me to work in the shop, and they were like, you're shorting yourself cutting in the shed. You just as good as us, you should be charging our prices. And you can come work with us. But I ain't want to work with them. I'm at the house grinding. You know what I'm saying? And it was some days that when I would get out of school, if I ain't having the heads, you know how I get heads? I go sit in the shop with people while they waiting in there to get a cut. I be like, man, they knew I cut. I said, man, I can get you to the house right now. So I say, how many I got? So when I leave, they'll leave with me. I go cut them up, then come back and go get some more. You know what I'm saying? And end up not even getting no haircut.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But I worked in the shop with them. They were like, hey man, you should get in school. So I got in barber school, and then I would go cut over there on the weekends and stuff like that. But barbers over here in Lakeland were telling on me. They would send the inspectors in. And I remember it was one barber, I used to cut his hair. And the whole time, he was looking to see if I had license. And he didn't know that I was related to another barber over here. So they would go over him and say, man, these guys over here cutting, they got our clients going to them and they don't have a license and stuff like that. And this whole time, I'm cutting this dude hair, but he didn't know that the guy was my cousin. So he was like, hey, Jairus, man, make sure you go and get your license, man, because they telling on you. They sending inspectors and all that. And I got caught by the inspectors. But he said it was okay because I was in school and I was pretty much done. But make sure you get your license. He said, I'm going to give you a warning, but make sure you get your license. I think you're going to get them because you're in school. Yeah. And my hours, I was close to finishing anyway. Yeah. Then I ended up moving into my Aunt Linda, J Mama, had opened up a shop over here when I finished school. And we moved in the same plaza with this guy. He was cutting in the salon, and we opened up the barber shop right up the sidewalk. So you know what he had to do. Yeah, he had to close it down and move somewhere else. But yeah, man, it's sad that it's a cutthroat business, and it's enough for everybody. And people shouldn't have those intentions to tell. If anything, man, it being that it's enough for everybody, help them. Yeah. Because it makes you make you a good person. Yeah. Yeah. And like you call the other captain and say, hey man, this guy want to take us out. You could combine. If you booked up one day, you can help the next person. If he may be booked up now, and you don't have anybody, he can help you. But a lot of guys don't see it like that in business. Yeah, and I'm saying, dude, when I was just out there before I got my license, I couldn't stand charter captains, bro, because all of them out there was grumpy and mean, yelling at people and stuff. And then I said, when I get my license, I'm gonna do everything different. Yep. And it worked for me. And it was how I actually got my captain's license. I got on social media.
saw me on there and he inboxed me. He's like, hey, can we go fishing or whatever? I'm like, yeah, we'll go. I mean, I used to go fishing with anybody, man. And he asked me how much is this gonna be, and I told him I can't charge you because I ain't licensed. And I said, just meet me here. I'm off this day, we'll go. And we went fishing and killed it that day. And when we was leaving, he asked me, or while we was fishing, he kept trying to talk me into becoming a charter captain. And he was like, man, you're really good at this. And I'm like, man, look, dude, I'm just having fun, bruh. And so he asked for my email address when we got to the boat ramp, when we was leaving. Like, man, what this man want my email address for? And 2 days later, he sent me a text. He said, hey, go check your email. I checked it, and he signed me up for C school, paid for it.
What?
Yeah, paid for it. So
Is C school expensive?
When you all said and done, it's probably around $1,600 when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He paid for it, and so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to C school, and I went, passed it, got my license, and like I said, I was gonna stay at the mines because, I mean, that's basically what we all been taught in our neighborhood. You stay at this place because there ain't no jobs nowhere else. But now I'm my own boss, bro. I own my own business, and it's been a blessing. Been a blessing. So that's how I got here. But and it was some other stuff too that the reasons why it was a couple of them out there that I personally know that didn't like the fact that I was black and I was doing it, and the ones who I knew was like that, them the ones I kept trying to stay in their face. That's what I do. Just because I know they didn't like it, you know? Yep.
Now, with your fishing and stuff like that, with the saltwater fishing, did technology help you to get your clients and stuff like that?
I mean,
with the social media platform?
Yeah.
How did that help you with your fishing?
It helped a lot. So that's I had a guy that's in the industry. Matter of fact, this is my first sponsorship. He called and wanted to sponsor me before I even got my license. He just wanted to sponsor me because of my social media was jumping then. And he told me, I remember talking to him and I was like, man, you know, when these other captains and people find out that you sponsor me, they're gonna be mad, you know. And he said, dude, don't worry about them. He said I was Forrest Gump after the storm.
Yeah.
He said, you just beat them to it. You beat them and they don't like it by using social media, you know. So to this day, I've been in business 9 years and I've never paid a penny for any kind of advertising. I had to pay somebody to build me a website, but besides that, I ain't running no ads. I ain't paying for nothing because I could do that myself.
Right.
So, and I tried to get it to a point where it would, my social media would keep me going, and my social media got me with the right people, fishing, and ended up on some TV shows. And the more they see my face, you know, here I am. I ain't have to spend a dime on advertising. So, and I ain't saying there's nothing wrong for the people who have to pay for advertising, but I'm like, I could do that myself.
How many sponsors do you have?
I don't even know. I probably got about 12 now. I lost a few this year and I gained some. So, But my longest running sponsor I had for 12 years, and I just lost them. And this is the first time I'm announcing it. I ain't gonna say who it is, but I just lost them. And but somebody else was waiting on me. See what I'm saying? So, but paying sponsors, I think I got 4 or 5 paying sponsors, and then the rest of them is just product and whatever else they give me for free to advertise for them.
Okay, cool.
So the monetary stuff is good, and I didn't even, bro, just being honest with you, I remember my first contract I did. I was with this company, and I thought I was sponsor bound because they was giving me free stuff. And then, like, after 4 years of being with them, the guy was like, "Hey, I think we want to sponsor you and bring you on." I'm thinking, I thought I already was. Y'all been giving me free stuff,
right?
Like, what, was it just flow or what? You know, and
flow. That's a skateboarding term. That's a skateboarding term.
Yes,
on flow for a company.
Yeah. So, I mean, and bro, I ain't gonna lie. He said, no, it's gonna be a monetary, you know. Keeping it real, I'm like, monetary? Let me Google, see what this is. I didn't even know what that was. I'm like, oh, they talking about giving me money.
Yeah.
And then it's been on since then. So, doing contracts now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see you got some of your gear on, so I'm assuming, what's that, Bullet Bay rods?
Bullet Bay rods, they in here in Lakeland. And then Traeger grills. I don't know who Traeger Grills is, and they've been real supportive to my business and what I do. And one of the head guys for Traeger, like the #1 guy, Chad Ward, he live here in Lakeland. So Lakeland's doing it, man. And all my sponsors has got some kind of connection to the local ties,
right?
Or like Bull Bay. They out of Lakeland, right down the road. Florida Fishing Products, they in Tampa.
Okay.
My Castnet, Black Pearl, they in Port Charlotte. So everything I got just about is Florida based and it's local. Safe Floor in Ruskin. I said I wasn't gonna start naming names because I'm gonna forget somebody, and that always go bad.
But it's one name you can't forget though. Blackneck.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Blackneck Charter.
Yeah, Blackneck Charter. So, and that's my business, and then, like I said, I got one of the biggest that helped for my business is Skeeter Boats.
Okay.
Skeeter Boats. I'm on their pro staff. I've been with them for 5 years now, and that was like, when I'm talking about one of the moments where I had to pinch myself, be like, is this real?
Can't believe it.
And to go to the Miami Boat Show, I have to go work for Skeeter at the Miami Boat Show to do demos. And in the showroom, they had a big display with me on the boat fishing and throwing a cast net. That's one of them surreal moments, is like, you know, Mama, I made it, you know? One of them Mama, I made it moments, you know? So they take care of me too, Skeeter and Yamaha Motors.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have any of your own products?
Yes. So Black Pearl Cast Nets, they got a signature series with my name on it. And it's the Invisible series. If you go to Black Pearl Cast Net, you'll see my name on there, and you go order the same cast net I use.
So it says Mike Goodwine?
Yeah. It's got my name on there, and then I got another one it's actually got my picture on the product, and I help these people But I ain't finna talk about them right now. So we just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
I know what it is.
I ain't even finna go there, you know. But that's part of the industry, man. You learn, you know, figure out who's who. And I ain't saying nothing bad about them. I just can't say nothing at all, you know.
Right.
And that's one thing you have to learn in this industry is you have to watch what you say, because especially on social media. Put it like this: when I have younger captains come to me asking for advice. Hey, how'd you get all these sponsors and such about social media? And I tell them, I say, man, the number one thing you need to worry about when you're using social media is what you say. Correct. Don't ever badmouth any product.
Nobody.
At all. I don't even care if you ain't sponsored by them, because in this industry, those people that's in charge of sponsoring, the reps and stuff, them people go from company to company.
Right.
So if you say this brand right here, you get on there and make a post saying, oh, that brand is bad, just to get a like. For what? You know, you're gonna get some people like it, and that's it. Now it might be somebody working for that company that's on your social media. And it's like, oh man, that's foul. And then he leave and go to this company right here. Now you trying to get on that company, your name come across the desk, and that one dude there to make the decision be like, nah, we ain't using him. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're gonna do is blast us on social media. So that's a good tip, man. You gotta watch what you're saying. For all my sponsors, even Traeger, when they finally contact me, they're all on that told me, I've been watching you for years. And I didn't even know it.
Right.
I didn't know it. So if I would have did something or said something stupid, I would have missed out on the opportunity just for a like. Just to get a like.
And I actually saw you on a commercial. I saw you on a commercial for Traeger.
Yeah. And they flew down here and filmed with me, and I'm on their website. If you go to Traeger website, go on ambassadors, I'm on there. And I've done probably 7 or 8 TV shows since I became a charter captain. And and a bunch of them was with the same person, George Poromo. He helped me out a lot.
Is that guy?
The charter captain out of
is that the older guy that passed away?
No, he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive.
You know what I'm talking about, right? When we used the bathroom on the show?
Oh, no, Jimmy. Jimmy was there at George's show. Okay. Yeah, Jimmy was I'm finna get to Jimmy. Rest in peace, Jimmy. But George been doing this for 30-some years. And somebody put out a top 50 anglers in Florida that you must know. And my name was in there at number 7.
Man, that's good.
But it wasn't in really no order, but I was the 7th person.
But when people look at it, they look at it as being an order.
Yeah.
Because we, as the regular people, the consumer, we don't know that it's not an order.
Yeah.
We looking at it, man, this dude is top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10 angler in Florida.
Yeah, so I was 7th, and George Poromo was 8th. And I can say this guy been at 30-some years, and he saw my name and saw me. And was like, who is this dude? So he went and looked at my social media and stuff. And he do a seminar series traveling around the country giving seminars. So he called me one day. I was crossing the Skyway Bridge. I'll never forget it. I hate that bridge. But I was crossing. You know we scared of the Skyway Bridge, bro. So we crossing the Skyway Bridge, and my phone rang, and he introduced himself. And he was like, yeah, I do a seminar series. Want to know if you would come speak at one of my seminars. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm about to go get something to eat. I'll hit you back. And got off the phone with him. I wasn't blowing them off. I was just listening and got off the phone. And we went and sat down and started eating. About 2 hours later, my girlfriend was like, "Hey, you need to call that guy back. You said you was gonna call him back." And I was like, "Yeah, let me see who he is first." And Googled him. I was like, "Holy, this dude the real deal." So I called him back, and he got on the phone. And I said, "Hey, George, I'm gonna let you know right now." I said, "When you first called, dude, I wasn't blowing you off, but it was just going in one ear out the other. And now I'm nervous." And he said this. He said, "I tell you what, that same Mike I talked to the first time, that's who I want to talk to now." And so I went and did his seminar series. And it was my first big seminar. And Jimmy was there. And Jimmy had been doing it for 30-some years. And
that's the old guy?
The old guy.
Okay, yeah.
And Jimmy was a bulldog on stage. He bullied people. I mean, he was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And anybody on the seminar series, Jimmy had always just like deboed him on stage.
He take over the conversation.
Yeah, he just, if you say something and he don't agree with it, he'll say, "Bullshit, that ain't the way you do it." So I'm on stage and I said something about fishing and he came at me like that. Like, so, nobody ain't gonna come at me like that,
Right.
Everybody else biking down. I'm like, okay, we could do this. And it was on. And we was going at each other.
All right.
And we had the crowd going and
all right, let me hold up one second. Hold on 1 second. All right. Was that the show, the episode where he was talking about using synthetic bait and then you putting a spray on the shrimp or the bait, and then put it in there, and you say, "Now I fish." You say, "I fish with." You say, "How you fool a fish?" Yeah. You said something about him. You fooling a fish with a fake smell to a fish or something. You spray it on the bait and put it in the water. He say, "Man, I just use real bait." Yeah,
just use it. I'm saying you're using all this artificial stuff to pretend like it's a real. Just go get the real fish. Go get the real bait. And so after that show.
That was so funny, man. I want to say I saw that and I sent it out to people because I wanted them to see that. I was like, "Yeah, my boy Mike killing it." I was like, "Heck yeah, I never forget." That was my favorite.
Yep. Episode. So after that, he only had me scheduled for one, and he called me. George called me and said, "Hey, we got one in Fort Myers. Can you come?" I was like, "Yeah, you just tell me where." I went to did to Fort Myers. And then the following year, he invited me back, and he had me on like 4 of them, I think. And he had me flying to Connecticut, but I ain't start flying. I'm scared of bridges and airplanes. But I was like, all right, it's time to, if it's going for my career, time to get over the fear of flying. Well, Jimmy. I remember George told me, like the following year, he had me on like 6 of them. And Jimmy told George, he called George to the side. He said, "Hey, George, when I'm done and I leave here, that's your guy right there. You got to keep him."
He gave you a blessing.
Yeah, he gave me the blessing. Old Jimmy, man. And God bless the dead. He passed. He found out he had cancer. He passed away. And I'm trying to I'll never be able to fill his shoes, but I try to keep that spirit alive. Keeping people laughing. I mean, you talking about fishing, you only can talk about fishing so much before it's like boring. So I just try to keep people laughing and being real, bro.
You're having a good time out there on the water.
But that's it. That helped me out doing that with George. He filmed with me, and I'll never forget. Like when he was filming, he asked me about my dad, and you go back and look at it. First of all, what was bad? It was my first time being on national TV, and 2 days before it was time to shoot, I got a fever blister. Now I'm on TV with this thing on my lip, man. I'm like, God, why? So he interviewed me in the green room, started talking about my dad, man, and now I'm crying on TV talking about my dad, man. And He said I was one of his most viewed shows, man. And he just, that show pretty much changed my career. Because after it aired, and every time it aired, every time they would play it, I started getting phone calls from out of state. My phone would start blowing up. I answered, hey, I'm in North Dakota. I want to come down and fish with you. I'm in California. And that helped me out. That's one of the biggest blessings I've had as a charter captain.
Cool. So were you, I think one time, did you ever do any reality shows?
No, I had a reality show. Some people contacted me. I had a video. I took up hunting. I don't know if you've seen that. I took up hunting because I ain't gonna lie, going fishing every day, man. I got kind of burnt on it. I'm like, I gotta have an out because people ask me, what you doing your days off? You go fishing? I said, when your day off, you go hang out at your job? No. So, but I had to find me an out to keep me, to find that love for fishing again. I took up hunting. And long story short, went hunting, killed this big buck, and was filming myself talking about the buck. And I got buck fever, bro, and broke down. And couldn't control myself. I was shaking. Like, what's happening to me, bro? Like all the emotions and feelings I ever felt in my life, I had never felt it until I killed that deer. It was scary.
Yeah.
Scary, bro. Like, what's going on?
I heard people talk about it. They say your first one, it does that.
Oh, dude, I'm like, then I got so emotional, I was choking, crying. I'm like, what's going on?
You done killed Ben.
Yeah, and then one of my homegirls is like, she saw it and was like, you need to put that on TikTok. I'm like, I don't do no, like they say, old people TikTok. I don't even mess with that. So she was like, put it on there. Put it on there. So I put it on there. And man, within 2 days, 3 days, it had over 1 million views, bro. And it got up to like 7 million views.
Wow.
And so getting back to my story, after that video went viral, some people from California called me and said they work with some agency and they find shows for all these different reality shows and they wanted to do a thing with me.
It's funny you say that. I got a call about a reality show some years ago and they called telling me, giving me their storyline and they felt like I could fit in, but I never did just follow up with it because I kind of was thinking that they was BSing, but it was actually real. Yeah.
And the thing what happened with me is, if you watch any of these reality shows, it's got to be some kind of gimmick there.
Because it's not reality, it's a script they follow.
And when they contacted me and they presented what they wanted to do, I was like, all right, I'm with it. And they told me I had to put together a team of people. And I got that team of people. Let's just say like Jersey Shore, all the people on there. They's like, who do you roll with? And keeping it real, I'm actually get the people who are my homeboys, who got my back, who I break bread with. And that's why I introduced them to. And nothing against them, you know what I'm saying? They just didn't have what the show was looking for. Because they told me, like, the rest of your crew ain't really got charisma. What were you looking for?
Charisma?
Yeah. And it was people in Tampa that there's some cats out there I could have used that it would have worked. But they're
not your boys.
They ain't my boys. So, you know, I'd rather keep doing what I'm doing than to be pretending like I like somebody just to be famous.
Right.
And they ain't trying to be famous. They approach me.
Right.
I didn't approach them. If it come. If it don't, oh well, you know. So that's what happened with the reality thing. And they could call me tomorrow and tell me to put together a crew. I ain't doing it. Well, it depends on what that number is.
Cause man, yeah. Cause I saw you on TV before fishing, and I think I called you maybe. I called you or text you after this, but it was some years ago. Because I was in a restaurant, and I think that you had maybe mentioned that to me, and then I was just in the restaurant, and I'm looking at, I was in, what is it, steakhouse called, is it Chops? Something on South Florida, right after Pippin Road on the right-hand side.
Cool. They out of business now. Cody's?
It was by a car wash.
Yeah. They gone.
I was sitting in there one day, man, and you was on there fishing and stuff like that, and it was a show, and I was like, dang, Mike on the show. I was like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
And my girl at the time, I was like, man, that's my boy right there, man. I know him. I know him. She's like, you don't know. I say, man, I'm telling you, man, I know this dude. I say, shoot, he knew before pretty much I knew myself.
Yeah.
You know, so and she was like, whatever. I was like, I'm telling you, man, I can call him right now.
Yeah. But and with that being said, man, I was getting text messages, calls, people that knew me, like, you on TV. But you know what he did for me, man? The reality part of that whole thing, before that happened, you couldn't tell me that everybody on TV is rich and famous. Right. If I saw you on TV, I'm thinking you rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I know that ain't the case. Right. I'm like, bro, I got my truck on E right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't rich like that, you know. I'm still paying child support and broke, you know. But these people seeing me on TV, man, like, he must be rich.
You say you living from bait to bait, bait to bait, greenback to greenback.
Yeah, so don't let the TV fool you, you know. I mean, I'm doing good, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't, I thought everybody on TV was rich. They ain't.
Nah, it ain't always the case. It ain't always
it ain't like that, bro. So
yeah, man.
But but it's been fun, man. Like I said, I ain't going nowhere. And that was one of the things too. When I first announced that I did the Facebook post, I'm like, I mentioned that I was gonna quit my job and come full time. And bro, you should have seen all the comments from captains telling me, oh, you're gonna regret it, and you ain't gonna last a year, and all this kind of stuff. And
is that motivation?
Yeah, that just fuel for the fire, bro.
There you go.
You know, anything I ever done when I like taking it back to us growing up. You know, back then I was on the skateboard. Wasn't too many other brothers skating in the hood, and the motorcycles and all that stuff, and the sad reality part of it is I caught a lot of flack from people in the hood.
Oh yeah.
Black people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go hang out with the white people skating and stuff, and I have some white people saying the same thing. Well, I was getting it from both ends. And I approached my dad one day, and I told him, I said, Daddy, I said, I'm getting hated on from both sides, telling me that black people don't do this or black people don't do that. And he looked at me and said, son, who made the rules? So next time somebody tell you that, say, show me the rules that say we can't do this or do that. You know, just think about Tiger Woods or Serena and them. If somebody would have told them black people can't do that, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I tried to change. That's my one goal, was to let younger minorities or whoever's like break that rule. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it because of the color of your skin. You know, use that as proven wrong. That's where I'm here now. So, yep.
They say that about the barbershop with the skateboards in there.
Yeah. And you probably ain't ever seen. You the first that doing this that I know of.
And they ask, how did you combine the two? Combine them.
Yeah.
Put them in there. That's it. You know, we go from there.
Yeah. So, and you made it work. You made it work, man.
Still got a lot of work to do though.
Yeah. But that's part of the process, you know what I'm saying? But here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So man, that's cool, man. So what's next? Because I know sometimes you get burnt out from doing things that you love to do. I used to love cutting hair, but then I made it my job. And then it's like you get to a certain points where you need these breaks, and like you say, you started going hunting. So with the hunting and stuff, that's your out. And how often do you do it?
Yeah, so that's my out. I hunt from like October, end of September to January. So
You shoot or you both?
I'll either or.
Yeah. I got a Hoyt Matthews at the house.
Yeah,
It was my brother's.
Yeah, if I could throw dynamite, I'm just trying to kill him, bro. That's just it. But that's my thing now. People's like, oh, you're gonna be doing something with hunting now. That ain't everything I've ever done. I've never had, and it's kind of bad. I've never had goals or plans. I'm passionate about what I do, and I let that turn into wherever God leads me.
You're not looking for it.
I ain't looking for it.
Whatever happened.
I ain't looking like with the skateboarding thing. After I wasn't able to skate because of my age and everything, I was a team leader of a skate crew here in Lakeland, a Havoc skate shop back in the day. And he hired me to take these kids to these contests. So everybody knew I was the guy to go to get sponsored. I was getting sponsored me tapes and stuff. Hey, check this out, come sponsor me. And 99.9% of all the videos I got, kids is garbage. They suck. It was bad. I didn't tell them that. And I'm like, throw it to the pile. And I learned that through skateboarding, but check this out. What I'm getting to is I have all those kids coming trying to get sponsored, and then I'll go to a skate park, and it'll be one kid out there killing it that ain't even worried about talking to me, ain't worried about sponsors. I'm like, that's who I want. I'll go to him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of them coming to me. And with my fishing or whatever I do, I just do it and they'll come to me. Not saying I'm too good to go to them, but I think if they see something in me, if they want me, they'll come ask me.
I honestly think that's the best way. I used to look for barbers, but when I stopped looking for them and just being active in what I was doing, they come.
Yeah.
They come.
Yeah.
Because it's like they want to be a part of something good or a movement. They want to be a part of a team.
Yeah.
You know, a good one, and they'll look up to you because be honest with you, they want to be you.
Yeah. Yep. So that's kind of how I let that be the grounds for me fishing too. I had all my sponsors, they all approached me, and I had one time that I approached the sponsor about getting a sponsor, and I emailed them, and they told me no. And I emailed the guy back. I said, I understand. I said, I broke my rule, and that's what I get for breaking my rule. I shouldn't have never asked you, blah, 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 blah. And then he wrote me back, said, call me. I called him. We started talking. Boom. He sponsored me. You know, but besides that, nah, it's just if you do what you do and you're doing it because you love it, then if a company want to work with you, they'll seek you out. So.
Cool. So, what do you have any other plans? Not really.
Nah, I got some things that I would like to learn and pick up on. But other than that, man, I'm just fishing, hunting, paying child support, bro. And keep doing what you're doing, man. Ever since I seen what you was doing, you're inspiration too. I like your business mind and your hustle, dude. I wish I had that.
You got it.
I got it, but in a different way. But you do it right. I'm doing it, Just take it as a compliment, man. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Like I say, I'm trying to, man. Hopefully, both of us could sit back one day and on in St. Pete somewhere fishing, man, smoking a cigar, laughing, talking about, and just look back, and we got other people doing some stuff, and we got our brands where they need to be at, so we could live off our name versus our work, even though that we put in the work for that.
Yeah.
And to me, my thing is building my brand name, so one day I can sit back and let my brand work for me.
Yeah. Yep. And that's it. Try to leave something. And the one thing, like when I'm dead and gone, when the good Lord called me home, and we ain't even talk about this, it's a Florida license plate with a redfish on it that I'm responsible for. So 50 years from now, 60 years, people will be driving with that license plate, and my grandkids and great-great-grandkids and great-great-great-grandkids could be like, yeah, my granddaddy.
That's right. You did design the red. It's the reds, right?
Yeah, redfish. Yeah, Florida license plate. So, I mean, it's just try to leave a mark in the industry, that and any other minority or somebody who think they can't do it could look at my story and say, that's what I want to do. And if he become a captain, my job is done.
Now, you was the first black captain. And you started the Florida Reds redfish license plate.
Yep. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yep. And it was just, I was at the DMV sitting there waiting like we all do, looking at the wall. I looked at all the fish. They had a bass, a tarpon, a snook, a dolphin, turtle. I'm like, well, I ain't got a redfish. Florida known for redfish. They had a snook and tarpon. So I get up there, I asked the lady, I said, hey, I noticed y'all ain't got a redfish. If I wanted to get a redfish license plate, what would I have to do? She gave me this number, you got to call Tallahassee, blah, blah, blah. I did it, and they referred me to the next step. Then I went to Jesse Starr, my homeboy, who created my logo. Say, hey man, I need you to make me up a sample for a redfish license plate. Boom, he made it, gave it to me. And I got that before I had to find a sponsor, somebody who the money was gonna go to.
Okay, a nonprofit?
Yeah, a nonprofit, that's what I had to find, a nonprofit. And so I called CCA and told them my idea, and they kind of blew me off, I ain't gonna lie. On the phone, the guy was like, yeah, whatever. And I said, I'm gonna send you a copy of what I already got. Hung up the phone, and I sent him the sample. He called me back. No, he didn't call me back. The person over him called me back. It was like, we want to do that. We want to do it.
That's cool.
And they said, they had the resources. They had somebody in Tallahassee. They had everything it took. And I gave them the ball, and they kept me updated until it's here now.
So what nonprofit do those funds go to?
CCA.
And what is CCA?
They do like all it's a conservation for the Florida, like the shorelines and stuff, the water quality. They get baby redfish from the hatcheries and release fish. They make sure they go to all the things about keeping the water clean in Florida. So it's an environmental group that help out with keeping our waters clean and keeping the fish in there. And without that, without groups like that, that's part of my business. We got to have fish and clean water. Once that's gone, I'm out of business. So it's a win-win. Right.
That's awesome, man. And you was responsible for that group getting that funding from that license plate.
Yep. So that's just another one of the things. But like I said, besides all of that, if it's one more captain or one person see my story and think they could do something when they've been told they can't, that's just it. I don't care what it is. We've always been told It's got to be football, basketball,
Sport, yeah.
rap, whatever. And nothing wrong with none of that. Nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just there's other things out there we could do too.
All right, and one more thing that you can add on your resume too. You know, we did the first skateboard competition at Barnett Skate Park
At
over here in Lakeland.
yeah,
The one that I did and you helped me do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We beat all the big dogs doing that competition.
Yeah.
Ryan actually said that. He said, "Man, you beat me to the punch."
yeah. We did. I remember that right by the house.
Lakeland High School.
Yeah, Lakeland High School. Yeah, yep. So I remember that.
And
So
some brothers did it.
yeah, that's just it, man. You know, but it's
We're in the record book.
yeah. So and without even trying to be, we passionate. We got the hustle, and you know we see it. We make it happen without nobody telling us. When they tell us we can't, that's when we.
Right. And we had some issues that day too. This guy, what is his name? He said he's with the Skaters Alliance. They own Ace Hardware. I said, you ain't got to say it. I'm a villain anyway. You know, so the guy from Ace Hardware, I forgot his name. He was like, you can't do this. You didn't have insurance and all this and all that. But we had insurance. We had everything.
Yeah.
But some other guys fought that battle. I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
He was like, I could shut you guys down, but I didn't say anything, and it was how I handled myself, and I let the other guys do the talking.
Yeah.
And then the city was like, hey, man, you good. Who was this guy anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're doing something and you're doing it right, you always gonna have them people, man.
Yeah. That's it. I guess that's that hate in their stomach.
Yeah. And that's when you know you're doing it right
Doing
anyway.
something right. And my thing is, if no one, you're not doing anything if you don't have those people. You got to be doing something. You know, you got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
It just come with the territory. And actually, I like those people because that's fuel. I use that as fuel.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. But there's a lot of other stuff we could talk about, or I could talk about. But I got to remember too, I got sponsors and they pay me, so I gotta.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what I say. But I'm gonna keep it real. But I watch Dave Chappelle when keeping it real goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be me, bro.
You know, so man, that's cool, man. I'm glad you came by, man. You know, is there anything that you want to say? Oh, do you got social media links to Blackneck event? Is Blackneck Adventures, right?
Yeah, Blackneck Adventures, fishing charters, blackneckadventures.com. If you want to book a trip, hit me up. My phone number is 813-707-4733. And you can follow me on Instagram, blackneckadventures_. Blackneck_adventures. Or Mike Goodwine, and that's it, man. Just doing what I love, and I'm blessed to even to be on your show. This is just another.
Man, I'm blessed to have you here.
Another form of community, and especially as local, somebody I know. Glad you had me on, man. Yeah.
And I thank you for being here. I thank you for coming in and actually showing up, you know, because it means a lot to me, and you are somebody. You know, a lot of people, when they see you, they don't really know that.
Yeah.
You know, we all are somebody, but I mean, you're a trendsetter. You always have been a trendsetter.
Thank you.
Especially in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're on the podcast, so now these other people could see that. And just hearing your story.
Yeah, and they also can see I'm coming to him. Look at my beard, man. They like, bro, you need to let him tighten you up. Like,
oh yeah, you can get fresh. You can get fresh.
That's been being on the water, on the grind, and I was like, man, I'm going to a barber shop looking like, yeah, but it's all good.
The camera person picked at me the last time about my beard from this side over here. They say he's looking kind of scruffy, so I got to keep myself right.
Well, I'm in the right spot to get tightened up, but thank you again for having me.
All right, cool, man, and that's gonna be the end of our show today. So like, share, and subscribe. Barber Skate Shop, everything. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. That's it. That's our handle. Thank you. Check us out again. Peace out.